Today, Toma is going to introduce us to her technical illustration about SolarWinds. Welcome.
Thank you, Megan, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yes, I'm very happy to have you here and really delighted to hear from you about this technical drawing that you did. How did you decide to have this type of analogy for SolarWinds? And how did you go about doing this for your visual?
Sure. Yeah, so I found my inspirations and obviously the name of the company, SolarWinds, but also in the names attributed to the malwares used in the incident, namely Sunspot and Sunburst. So, and I also use, well, the analogy of the solar system. And a lot of people are familiar with how the solar system works. And so using all of these elements together helped me create this illustration.
Excellent. And as far as researching solar winds and sunburst, were there any particular elements that you learned during your research that led you to a deep dive and made it into much more of a technical visual, even such as TTPs?
Sure. Yeah. So I found the relationship between the two malwares, Sunspot and Sunburst, particularly interesting, as they are the heart of the SolarWinds incident. And understanding the different TTPs that were used by UNC 2452 was crucial in understanding how you can best align technologies um, to support the business mission. So, when attacks like these happen, it's a good opportunity to rethink about certain things you can internally improve on or even add, but also you start having a greater appreciation for activities such as threat modeling, where everyone is brought to the table in order to reflect on use cases and tabletop exercises. Companies, and something that I've also noticed during my research, is that companies who were successful in detecting UNC 2452 within their perimeter had a clear understanding of the principle, that is, it's not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen. In short, they were ready. And so this principle, coupled with good visibility into your systems, can help you a long way.
As I was looking through all of the great level of detail that you have, and there really is a tremendous amount of information to look through here, I noticed that you even have some asterisks. Could you give us a little bit more information about one of the pieces that you have here with an asterisk?
So that is correct. Due to the complexity of this attack, I had to use a system that would allow the reader to easily find information that is linked with each other. And so I used color coding, makes the content more intuitive and consumable for the reader. For example, I'm using the color red for offensive activities and blue for defensive activities. This is a lot of information that you see here, as you can tell, and so there was a lot of triage that I had to make in order to convey the most relevant information and leave out some of the information that the reader can research on his own.
Yeah, there's a lot to be researched for sure.
Yes, and really the purpose of this infographic is to lay the foundations for the broader audience, ranging from C-suite executives, senior cybersecurity leaders, and all level practitioners. So yes, this is really the goal here.
Yeah, and I think that really ties in nicely to a further question, which I have, which is one thing I noticed is that you do talk about patches and mitigations, which looks towards the idea of, well, one has all this information. Now, what should one do with it? So could you speak a little bit to that? we are both in industry. So when one is thinking about, hey, we've researched, we have all this information, there is a patch, what should one do?
So yes, absolutely. This is a really good question. So in this section here, you can see that I discuss mitigation steps. And in this case, the patch was released officially on the SolarWinds domain, and it also came with guidance on how to best patch the Orion platforms, and also the DHS released guidance around this particular patch. So here at the time, the guidance was to upgrade to 2019 4.2 and 2020 to 2.4. But now the guidance really is, only run SolarWinds version, the Orion platforms that are that have supported versions. So if you are running a version that is not supported, then um, this is a good resource here to look at.
Yeah.
Too. Mhm.
And I think that's also one of the things that in our industry, right? You do need to keep up to date with different pieces of information because one thing that's published could change, right? And that takes me to my final question, which is, are there any final takeaways that you would like to leave us with? You've shared this really wonderful technical drawing. Are there any final pieces that you would like to leave us with from it?
Sure. Yeah. So um, there are many takeaways in this in this infographic, but I think that the final takeaway really is that all of these items that are presented here are items that are actionable, and so senior leaders and security practitioners should inform themselves on how they can use this information within their perimeter to support their organizations.
Thank you, Toma. I love that emphasis on having things be actionable. That is something that I am really passionate about because it should not just stop at the learning. We should think about ways to put it into practice, ways to actually do something with the information that we are learning. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us and to bring it to a broader audience so that people can learn and do something with their learning. Excellent. And thank you for being here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Megan. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.